Hi, for today's practice I would like you to have a couple of props, and it's going to be a belt or a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can just use a belt or even just a towel or anything that you could spread between your hands to open the arms wide. Then I'm going to use a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use stacks of books. And another one that I want to use is a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, again, maybe sofa cushions or something like that can work. So go ahead, pause the video, grab the props you need, and then come back here. And we'll start on our backs in a position that is going to be flat on the back. You can lie down through the side, find your way into your back, bend the knees, and then we'll start by tilting the pelvis a couple of times, front and back, rocking it a few times just to find the neutral position, and also to start feeling into your lower back and into your lower abs to find out how the body feels today. You can bring the hands into your lower belly too. Inhale, tilt it forward. Exhale, imprint the lower back into the mat. And notice if you're using your feet a lot to do that, try to drive the movement from the pelvis. So instead of pressing into the feet to lift your pelvis up here, see if you can keep the weight light in your feet and find a bit of more movement in the pelvis area coming from your pelvis. Inhale, tip it forward, arch your lower back away from the mat, and as you exhale, imprint. You can do it a few more times and notice how there's a bit of flickering of the muscles between your hip bones here. So your hands are on the lower back and you can feel how those deep core muscles, lower belly muscles turn on as you exhale. And you could practice your candle's breath, or sometimes it's called Pilates breath, when you inhale through the nose. And as you exhale through tightly pursed lips. That again helps to activate those lower abdominal muscles. And then next time you come into that imprinted position with the lower back closer to the mat, lift one leg up parallel to the floor, and then inhale here, and as you use your other exhale, float the other leg up. You might notice how the hips want to shift when you do that. So let's repeat a couple more times. Again, the focus is here to keep that position where you're drawing your lower ribs towards your pelvis and the lower back is close to the floor. Inhale here, and as you exhale, float one leg and then float the other. Especially when you lift that second leg, you will see how the pelvis wants to tilt and move. Try to resist it by using your core muscles. And use your exhale on the effort part. Notice if you start bulging or bearing down, bracing. Repeat as many times as needed to find that core containment. And then, this position, I'm going to call it reverse tabletop. You're going to hold it here, trying to maintain that neutral spine, or more like slightly rounding into your lower back, but being mindful about not overusing your obliques. So not only your obliques, but your lower abdomen should turn online here. And then from here, notice also if the knees are further away, you will feel more into the core. If they are closer to the chest, you will feel less. It's your hip flexors that are taking over here. But as you exhale again, push the knees away from the chest as long as you keep that lower back flat. So if you start arching, you went too far. You need to find the position where your lower back is flat and the shin bones stay parallel to the floor. So find that position, and from here, all you're going to do is dip one set of toes down on the exhale, bring it up on the inhale, and then dip the other set of toes down on the exhale and bring it up on the inhale. Notice I'm not arching my back when I do that. So if you start doing that, then you will not feel your core work anymore. The work of the core here is to stabilize your hips and to keep that lower back almost imprinted into the mat. Obviously, don't overdo it such that all you feel is your obliques and you start bulging. But find that position where the lower back is flat and hips stay in the same position as you dip the toes down and then bring them back up. Down and up. And you can move them close to your glutes or a little bit further away. The further away you move the leg, again, the more it will require of your core stabilizing power to keep the hips stable as you bring the toes down. Remember, it's not about the number of reps, it's a lot more about the quality of movement. So you're going to go slow. And I want to see about 8 repetitions, so 4 on each leg. Now I've been talking for a while, so you may have done those 8 already. If you haven't, do that. If you need to pause the video to finish those reps up, you can also do that. And then give yourself a little break, hug the knees towards the chest, rock gently side to side if you like, massaging your lower back. And then we're going to do one more from this position, from the reverse tabletop position, so you can return the legs back to that reverse tabletop. If you need to move the pelvis to find that neutral position and find your core support, do that. And then from here, you're going to bring the right hand into the inner left knee. And as you exhale, press the hand into the knee and the knee will resist. And you will feel again how those lower abdominal muscles turn on. Let's repeat that 3 more times. Inhale here. Everything stays stable. Lower back stays flat. Use your rib cage. And as you exhale, blow those candles or use your Pilates breath to press the hand into the knee and the knee back into the hand. So that's an isometric contraction. Nothing moves, but you're engaging everything. One more deep inhale, or 2 more. And notice what happens on the exhale. Not only your lower abs, but also notice if you feel a gentle lift in the pelvic floor. But don't overdo it. Don't squeeze or pull too hard. Just notice what happens. Notice if there is a response. And then switch the sides after you've done 4. I like to bring my other hand into the lower back, into the lower belly, just to feel those muscle contractions. So stay here, readjust if you need to. Inhale. Expand your rib cage, and as you exhale, press. Let's do 2 more, 3 more. Inhale and exhale, press. Really expand that inhalation so that you have a longer exhale and feel what happens at the bottom of the exhale. Don't lose the stability of the hips, the stability of the lower back. You might also feel engagement in the inner leg line because you're pressing the knee into the hand, so the inner thighs are also turning on. Good. And now bring the hands back into the back of your thighs. If you like, rock yourself side to side. You can come through one side to a tabletop, or you can massaging your lower back, come a couple of rolling up and down movements. I like it just for fun. And then coming into a tabletop, we're going to do a few from the tabletop. So the first one is going to be for your upper back, and I'm going to use 2 blocks. One block is going to go between my thighs to stabilize the hips. So I'm going to be pressing into the block with the inner thighs on the exhale, keeping the hips from moving. And then the other block is going to be on to the side, so the right hand foot onto the block on the right side. Come into the left elbow. See what position of the block works for you. So your knees are about hip width apart, not too wide. And then all you're going to do is inhale here, and as you exhale, twist towards the block. So you're pressing the right hand into the block gently, and you're rotating the upper back. So you're twisting from the upper back. As you inhale, you come back. And as you exhale, bring the knees into the block, squeeze the block between your thighs, feel how the hip adductors are also turning on, and twist. You might feel a couple of cracks in your back, that's okay, as long as you don't feel any discomfort in the lower back. Now, if you do feel discomfort in the lower back, you can lose this block between the knees, and when you twist, you can allow your hips to shift. But I do want to, if it doesn't hurt you, then I do want you to keep the hips steady in this one and find the rotation as much from the upper back as you can. It's not going to be a big move, but it might feel very juicy even if you're not moving much. And then we'll do, of course, the other side. So you're going to switch the block under the other hand. Bring the right elbow down this time. If you need to find neutral spine, you do a couple of cat-cows. And then once you're in it, squeeze the block. Inhale with your ribcage. And as you exhale, twist. And you should also feel again the lower abs singeing in and up. Pelvic floor possibly lifting gently. And let's repeat 3 more times. So this move helps to stabilize the hips and helps to liberate the upper back, training that upper body mobility, your thoracic spine mobility, which often is very immobile in many of us due to sedentary lifestyle. And it compromises our posture, it compromises our breathing. So this is helpful to undo some of that damage. Last one. Good. And now we're going to come back to the tabletop, and we're going to use the block underneath the knee. So you're going to bring the block underneath your left knee and come to stand on it. Hands down and the right knees down on the mat. So this one is for the hips to give the break for the upper body, and it trains our hip mobility. All you're going to do is exhale and hover the right knee up, and then inhale and lower down. Exhale, lift it up, inhale, lower down. Now while you're doing this, you try to stabilize your upper body, so you're not sinking between the shoulder blades, you're not doing here any cat-cows or anything like that. You try to press the floor away, keeping your shoulder blades wide and broad, and the movement is just lifting and lowering the knee. So it's shifting right hip up and down. It's not a hydrant, a fire hydrant move, so we're not opening the hip to side. We are lifting and up and down. So what you should feel working, apart from the right side of your leg, so your right glute and outer hips, it's also the left glute and left hips. It's also your right obliques, so the side body. So let's do 4 here. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. And if you like it, you can do a couple more, of course. And then we'll switch the sides. If you need a wrist break, you can take a wrist break, pause the video, and then when you're ready, come to the other side. So again, find your neutral spine, press the floor away, broaden your shoulder blades, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. And a few more just like that. Try to stay steady on this right side. So you will feel how your right glute is working, how your right hips are working, and you will see how you will also feel how your left obliques are turning on to lift that hip, to hike that hip up and down. Again, about 6 or 8 reps. Good. And then after you're done, you can remove the blocks for now. Come to tabletop. Again, if you need a wrist break, shake it all out, or shoulder blade, give it a little break. And then come into tabletop. Open the feet out to side, wider than your mat. So the knees stay in, only the feet open to side. It's this move of just opening the feet to side, almost like you're making a mermaid tail with your lower legs. And notice what you feel when you do that in your lower back. So this hip internal rotation helps to also liberate the spine, the lower back. It might feel very unfamiliar, so you can do it a couple of times if that's the case. And then see if you can do a couple of cat-cows from this open position, from this mermaid tail position. Each inhale, focus on the spinal segmentation, and each exhale, gather everything in, find your core. Align your breath to movement, and we're looking for 4 or 5 here. Notice how much mobility in the spine you have. When the hips are in this funky shape, in this internally rotated position, might be less than usual, and that's okay. We're just exploring. Use it as a reset. And then come to sit on your heels. You can tuck the toes under if you like a foot stretch, or you can untuck the toes if you don't. You can even sit on a block if you feel like that's uncomfortable. Up to you. All I want to do is to find a comfortable and tall seat. I'm going to turn to the side actually like this so you can see me better. So if you need, you can sit higher. If you need, you can even extend the legs in front of you. But do find a tall seat, meaning that you're sitting on your sit bones. So you're not rounding, you're not slouching. You can even tilt your pelvis front and back a couple of times to find that tall position. And then grab your strap, your towel, or whatever you're using. Today, we're going to do a bit of shoulder flossing. To open up the front body, to improve our posture, to strengthen the upper back. All you do is inhale, bring the strap up and over, and as you exhale, lower it down. Keep it nice and wide so that the shoulders feel comfortable, and notice what happens when you lift the arms up, when you reach overhead. Notice if you start arching your back a lot. We don't want to do that, so you don't want to arch. Instead, think about drawing your lower ribs towards your pelvis, even as you lift the arms up, which might mean that your arms don't come up that high. Maybe you stay a little bit lower, which is fine, but maintain that core stability as you reach the arms up and over. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. Or try the other way. This one actually doesn't matter so much how you breathe. Inhale to lift, and exhale if you want, open it wider and bring it all the way back. Only if that's comfortable for your shoulders. Only if you don't feel like you are causing any damage in the rotator cuff. Otherwise, you stay here. You don't need to go any further. Find the spot where you feel opening in the front body. So where you feel that the core is contained and you feel nice and juicy stretch for your pecs and the front body. The gaze can stay down or somewhere comfortable so you're not straining your neck, and you can even stay here. Another thing you can do, I'm going to turn around just for a moment, is to think about squeezing your shoulder blades on the way up, right? So when you lift the arms up and over, you think about squeezing your scapula, your shoulder blades together. So you are strengthening the back muscles as you lift the strap up. And notice how wide I hold it. So I'm not trying to squeeze myself into a very narrow shape. If you have very open shoulders, of course you can, but for most of us, this is more than enough to hold it nice and wide. And if you bring it all the way back again, notice I'm not bending my elbows, I'm trying to keep them straight and locked out. So do it as much as you want to. slowly, mindfully, paying attention to the sensations in the body, to the core containment as you bring the arms up and over. This again will help to open the front body, improve the posture, strengthen the upper back, and by default, liberate your lower back. Good. Hope you enjoyed that. And we're gonna switch the gears a little bit again and come to lie down on the side and work a little bit more with the hips before we unwind. So for this one, I like to use a bolster. You can also use those couch cushions or just normal pillows or whatever you find to find the shape. So the block or the bolster, could be also 2 blocks, is between my knees and my feet. So the shins are parallel to each other. There's space between my legs and I lie down on the side. And the move is very simple here. All you do is just lift and lower the top leg, keeping the knees together, keeping the knees pressing down into the bolster. So you're just lifting the heel, the lower leg. And again, it might be a very small move or it might be big, depending on how you feel in this internal hip rotation movement, which again liberates your lower back and improves your hip mobility, your functional hip mobility. And it also helps to relax the back of your pelvic floor, which often is very tight in many of us, which also leads to lower back pain and stuff like that. So bring one hand to your top hip. See if you can keep that hip in position as you bring the heel up and down, up and down. Go as fast or as slow as you like. Don't go too fast. I'm just generally in for slower movement. And then next time you lift, hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And then just swivel to the other side. You can roll to the other side, or you can do what I do. Come to the other side this way. Don't want to give you my back, that's why, but you can also prop yourself up on the elbow if that's more comfortable. I like to just lie down and relax as my lower body is working through this. And we're aiming for about 8 to 10 of these reps, slowly paying attention to what is happening, what is stopping you from going further into that internal hip rotation. You can breathe as comfortable as you feel comfortable. Don't worry about inhales, exhales, and Pilates breathing or whatever. Just breathe. And when you're done with 8 or 10, depending how fast you are doing these ones, you can hold it at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower. Nice. And then we're going to do just a couple more from the back. So keep the bolster handy because I might want to use it for the last exercise. You can use a bolster or a block. And again, lie down onto your back. And we're going to do asymmetric bridge lift. So this will strengthen your glutes. And this will help the SI joint if it feels a little jammed. So you can start with the gentle rocks up and down, tilting and slushing and gloshing your pelvis, and then tilting and tucking. And then what you're going to do is find your neutral position. Then press into your right foot and then press into your left foot. So it's like you're walking almost. So the left knee drives forward and the right knee drives forward. The movement is now in a different plane, in the same plane of movement, right? In the sagittal plane. So you're moving the right knee forward and then left knee forward, up and down, one hip at a time. Now, next time you press into your, bring your right knee forward, press into that right foot and start lifting. So you're lifting just the right side of your pelvis, and my pelvis is in this funky crooked shape, right? So I'm going high as is comfortable without feeling discomfort in the lower back. And then once I'm at my top, I'm going to press into the left foot and even it all out. Come into a more stable, more neutral, more normal, you may say, bridge position. And then you're going to relax just your right glute, keeping that left foot pressing down, engaging the left glute, just relaxing the right one, and then lower all the way down. So if I speeded it up, it would look like this, right? We're lifting and almost drawing like a circle with the hips. But I want to go slow, so I'm going to press into the right foot, lift the right glute, engage the right glute, keep pressing all the way up, and then press into the left foot, engage the left glute. Both glutes are engaged now. Now relax the right glute, drop the right side pelvis down, and then relax slowly the left glute and lower down. One more in this direction. So starting with the right foot presses, right glutes engages, lift up into the funky shape, press into the left glute, even it out, relax the right, keep the left engaged, and then slowly lower down. How are you doing? Let's do the other side, starting with the left. Left foot presses down, left glutes engages, lifting up, even it out, press into the right foot, right glute engages. Now left relaxes, and then slowly relaxing right. And just 2 more like that. Starting with the left, lifting left side up. Engage the right, lift the right side up. Relax the left, drop the left side down. And relax the right, drop the right side down. Last one, and obviously you're going only as high as you feel comfortable without any impingements, any discomfort in your lower back. Notice how you feel. Give it a little shake. If you like, you can bring the knees in for a moment if that feels good. And the last one today is going to be with a bolster or block underneath the pelvis. Bring it down. Set your sacrum, your top of your pelvis onto the bolster, and extend the legs for a moment. Notice how that feels in the lower back. You might feel uncomfortable. If you do, you can come a little bit more forward, and then bring your left knee towards the chest and extend your right leg out. Your right leg can be hovering. It doesn't need to be on the floor. But I want you to feel that stretch on the right side hip flexor, and at the same time you're not arching in your lower back. And then switch the sides. Bring the right knee in, keep the lower back flat, keep the left leg reaching forward as you bring the left knee as close to the chest as is comfortable, and feel that stretch on the left side. And let's repeat a few more times. Left knee in, right leg extends. Exhale and relax. Inhale here and exhale, switch. Inhale here, exhale, switch. Inhale here, exhale, switch. Good. If you like it and you want to spend a few more moments here, pause the video, stop the video, and enjoy this move for a bit longer. Otherwise, if you're ready to relax, you can shift the bolster lower towards your knees and lie down with your lower back flat on the mat. You can even lift the pelvis and tuck it a bit more so that the lower back feels nice and broad, and drop into your final relaxation. Deep breath in, fill up your chest, and sigh it all out. Let it go. Enjoy your Shavasana.